Welcome back let's start that again. Welcome back to another episode of Recruitment Ops. I did it again today. I'm with Mishri Amin. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
No worries at all. Before we started recording, we worked out that we actually went to schools that were part of the same collective. And both of our schools don't exist anymore.
No, they don't. It says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's why we're here today in this room.
So I'm being hosted here at Mishri's offices where, do you call this Old Street, Shoreditch or Liverpool Street?
Let's go Shoreditch. I think we say Shoreditch. Yeah.
I was trying to work it out because I came out of Liverpool Street Station and I was like, what does this come under for London?
You've got Liverpool Street, you've got Old Street, and you've got Moorgate. So we'll go Shoreditch.
We'll go Shoreditch.
Yeah.
I'll hand over to you for an introduction into yourself and the business, and then we'll get cracking on.
Sure. So I'm Mishri. I head up the operations division at QXI. We're a group of recruitment tech brands, as you know. So Montash is our oldest brand, we're 22 years old actually this year.
Wow.
Classic recruitment, contract perm. Then you have Remobi, which came next. They are all about remote, sort of like working solutions, projects, those sorts of things. And then you've got Trillion, which is our most recent brand, which is pure play SAP.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that pure play SAP recruitment or consulting or both?
It is a bit of both. So we do contract for Trillion, but we also do sort of like project-based work as well for clients.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what about yourself then? How long have you been here?
It was my 3-year anniversary in November.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, it felt like yesterday.
Yeah, really.
But also a very long time as well.
One thing I've been getting folks to do is, because ops people wear so many hats.
Yeah.
I speak to some ops people, they're like tech and ops, others are compliance, others are marketing, others are internal rec, others are finance.
Blimey.
There's a bit of everything
Yeah.
in there. What falls under your remit at QXI?
Yeah, so I think my department is really broad. So it covers marketing, it covers tech, learning and development, talent acquisition, people, and day-to-day business operations. So lots of different areas.
Everything non-recruitment.
Yeah,
lands
bar
in
finance and legal as well.
Okay, cool. And did you do recruitment?
I did.
Yeah, go on. Let's start with your first experience of recruitment.
But I think it was about 12 years ago, I
thought you were going to say I was 12 years old.
No. Imagine, no. That'd be so sick. I went backpacking around Australia, did the usual, got a job in sales, cold calling. Then I was like, I would love to live in Australia, love to come back, visa ran out, came back to London. I was like, how do I get back there? The easiest way is to get sponsored doing recruitment.
Right. Well, that's the thing, is it? If you do recruitment, you can go over there.
Well, that's the advice I was given by the locals. So I came back home and I was like, okay, I did enjoy sales, didn't really enjoy the cold call side of it, but the external, talking to people, helping them kind of get a job was fun, and I found that quite rewarding. And I was like, okay, and it will get me my sponsorship to go back. Here I am in the UK still 12 years later.
Raining today as well.
So I got my first sort of recruitment job, really junior, graduate tech recruitment at Sparta 12 years ago. That role then turned into a hybrid university partnerships and outreach. Then I moved on from Sparta to M3 for 5 years. And that's when my role completely transitioned from recruitment to sort of like people engagement and then full-fledged operations.
Right.
And then I moved to Montash after 5 years and came to build their operations division.
Yeah. Wow. So when you started in recruitment, what sector was that? What did Sparta do?
They were tech. So
Tech.
It's always been
Always
tech recruitment, very much like front end, back end software, testing, that sort of thing.
Did you like recruitment?
You know what?
Genuinely like agency desk recruitment.
I did grad.
Yeah.
So it was the hire, train, deploy model. So kind of like FDM.
Yeah.
I actually did. I loved that. But I got really bored of it quite quickly. Like, I am someone who loves to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Every day has to be really varied. I'm also not target driven in that sort of instance. I'm very much like, service driven
Okay.
instead.
Yeah. It's a good way of putting it.
Which is kind of like where
Yeah.
round about ended up here.
And then in the role that you had after Sparta,
Yeah.
where you sort of went from, I guess, recruitment through into fully fledged ops.
Yeah.
What was it? Do you think that was like an innate calling, or do you think that you just excelled and they asked you to do it? How did that come about? Because there's a lot of accidental ops managers, you know. I'm an accidental ops manager. I just knew how to use Excel, so I became the sales and ops manager.
Yeah.
But
I think 50-50. I think half of it was accidental, half of it was because actually I was good at doing those sorts of things. But then the other half was like, something's pulling me away from recruitment. I love the industry and I love how fast-paced it is in the environment. I like coming into work was like, sounds really sad, best thing ever. That in your 20s.
yeah.
And then, but the job itself was not for me. So I was like, okay, we had M3's really similar hire, train, deploy model as well. We had all of our graduates would come onto site, do training, and then they'd go onto client site. And it was sort of my job, rather than doing the hiring of them, I'd work closely with the talent team that did. I would do the pastoral care side and like the engagement, the retention, that sort of piece. And that eventually sort of led into the more like operational growth sort of area.
And I guess that's a huge component of that hire, train, deploy model at that level and that age group, the pastoral element, because I love hiring rookies. I've never liked doing grad recruitment for clients. Just because job out rates, people just don't turn, like the volume of people, like you have to have so many people in your funnel, otherwise they'll just drop away. So how did you get into Montash or QXI? They come and get you, you apply?
I actually applied through a rec to rec.
Oh yeah, nice.
It was bank holiday. He was working that bank. I was sitting on my sofa and I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm hitting a ceiling. I want something I can really like get my teeth into. And I saw the vacancy and I was like, just give it a go. What have you got to lose sort of thing. I wasn't actively applying to like loads of jobs. But it just sounded really interesting. Like they had someone in the business that was doing operations, right? And she literally wore a cape like a hero because she was doing everything as you do when you don't have a division. And it was very much like, these are our goals. This is where we want to grow to. We want a more robust function that can help us get there. And it wasn't positioning ops as like a support function, but more of like a growth engine. And that is so different to like what I've perhaps experienced previously, or when I've spoken to people within the same industry, they've experienced as well. So I applied, spoke to the rec to rec, did Zoom interviews, face-to-face interviews, telephone interviews, as you do. Was sold on the people. Obviously I was sold on the business, don't get me wrong, but like met Andy, met Matt, met a couple of other people in the business, and I was like, you know what, they will push me. Like they'll push me out of my comfort zone, and I need that. Like I need someone who's going to be like, you know what, you can do it, go get it. It's all right if you get something wrong along the way, or you fail, but we fail together. And that's the most important
thing.
I love
that. That is important. That's good leadership, right? That's exactly. That's how you get the best out of people. That's interesting about the fact that you applied for the role.
I know.
I was reading a post on LinkedIn this morning. I was genuinely giving the guy snaps on the train because I was listening to what he wrote, and he was writing saying, "Why is there this ridiculous myth in recruitment that anyone that applies for a job is like not a good candidate?" I mean, I've got a job before in the past by applying for it. I think I got my ops director role from applying for a job on LinkedIn. So nice. And in QXI, you've obviously, did you inherit a team? Were there people there, or have you built that out yourself?
So there wasn't an operations function per se. So the individual who was in the business was doing operations, but was also doing the tech stack and lots of other things. It was one person, so it wasn't a department. But I did inherit the individual. But we built the team together. Like I can't take credit for it on my own at all, because it's all about like who you're working with and getting their opinion as well. Like I'm not the expert. Like I can definitely give direction, provide parameters, and set the standards. But ultimately, I am a jack of all trades. That's what I have done. And why we've built what we have built is because every person in the division is a specialist.
Yeah.
They're going to know a lot more about what they're doing than me, and that's
Yeah.
got to leave them to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big advocate of. I've always said it whenever I've been designing ops functions: is the right people doing the right things,
Exactly.
and like playing into everyone's strengths and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, there is a role everyone can play, but you just got to design it right.
Yeah.
Do you know the full quote for Jack of all trades?
No. Oh, you can tell me though, aren't
It's
you?
so good. It's mad.
Go on.
Whenever I do like ops, if I'm speaking at an event and it's for ops people, I always put it up. And I always put the first bit up because that's the bit everyone knows.
Okay.
And then I put the full quote up. So it's Jack of all trades, master of none,
Yes.
but oftentimes better than most.
Oh,
Do you
interesting.
see what I mean? So like,
Yeah, I
even
didn't
as
know
a
that
jack of
bit.
all trades, so it's not. People think of it as, oh, they're a jack of all trades but master of none, and they can sometimes think of it's got a negative tone to
Yeah.
it. But actually, the full quote is saying, yeah, I can do a bit of everything, and I can do it a bit of everything better than most people can.
I love
full time.
that.
It's good, isn't
Thank
it?
you.
I
Can
know.
you just send that to me?
Yeah.
And then if anyone says anything, I'll be like, there you go.
Yeah, I genuinely want to put it on a t-shirt. I think
That's
it's just
so
like, yeah.
good.
The first time I presented that, it was at an ops summit for TRN,
Yeah.
and all the ops people were there, and they were all smiling at the first bit. And when the next bit came on, you just saw everyone like, it was like an X Factor moment. Everyone was just like, oh my god, yeah, that's me, man. I'm like better than most of the people that have stuff.
That is so good because we have such like there's almost like it's not a negative connotation or association with operations. It isn't, but it's almost like people just think operations is a support function.
Yeah.
Well, no, not really. It just depends on like how the business perceives it and like how they've been set up. And it's, yes, we can do a little bit of everything, but actually if you dig deeper, you'll find that within the team, there are people that are so specialist in what they do.
Yeah.
They could run circles around most people within the business.
Yeah. I meet some of the most immensely intelligent, organized, like solution finding people when I do my travels, and I'm interviewing an ops manager for one of my clients.
Okay.
Who was like, she's like, what am I fucking coming on for? What do people want to hear from me? And I've worked with her so closely for the last year on 4, 5, 6 projects, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I've met anyone who can, I don't know what the word is, she can bring people along for a journey. I've never seen anyone do it like her. She's like, ladies, like she's got a team full of girls, her ops coordinator. She's like, right, ladies, this is what we've got to do, this is what we're doing, this is how it ties to the business card. I know it's long, but we're going to do it together. We've got 400 records to update. Let's take 50 each and let's just get on with it. I'm in it with you. And I just love that. And I'm like, I want her to talk about, particularly when she comes on the pod, like, where does that come from? How does she know to do that? Where does she learn that? There's got to be something that's happened in your life that's taught you that that's the way to manage people and lead and change and stuff like that.
That's the thing though, isn't it? It's the together.
Yeah.
That's it's not every like man or woman for themselves.
No.
Like just because you might own a certain area or like you might have this responsibility, you've got to build a team where like everyone can roll up their sleeves and get involved, and you have to like be happy to get down there with them.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, you can't delegate it and then be like, I'm not doing it. That's just not how it works.
Delegating doesn't work in ops anyway.
No.
I would genuinely say that even when I had the job title was COO, and it was when I took that business, I took that role on, the business was like 45, 50 heads. Like, COO just sounds grand. I mean, I think they wanted that because they did US hedge funds, so they wanted it like aligned to their market.
Yeah.
But even in that, I was hands-on, pulling reports. Like, I think if you don't keep your hands dirty, I think it's hard to continue strategizing and solutionizing when things come up. So I don't think you should be in there every day, like,
No.
wiping down the desks and stuff like that.
No.
But I think you should, on certain projects, go in, get involved really deeply.
You lose touch otherwise. Like you actually lose touch with like the day-to-day running of the business. If you keep yourself so far removed, how can you like direct or set those guardrails for your team or like inspire them even to like get somewhere if you don't have a Scooby as to like what's going on?
And who's going to listen to you? Like as soon as you're not close to it and haven't done it or not doing it or not in the trenches somewhat, like the moment you have a personality clash for whatever reason, like I don't know, someone doesn't get a pay rise, someone doesn't get promoted, or something gets said in the pub, I don't know, any little thing that comes up, because they come up, right?
Yeah, they do.
Then all of a sudden you've got a big project change coming up next quarter. There's going to be eyes rolling. It's going to be so hard to do. So yeah, I think it's really important to stay sleeves rolled up. You talked about ops not being a support function, right? I mean, that's all my marketing. For embedded ops, right? My marketing for embedded ops is you are crazy if you're still using ops people as administrators. I think ops has evolved so much in my 15 years in recruitment. I would say back in the day we had receptionists.
Yes.
Right? We had receptionists who answered the main line because we had main lines. And like then slowly they would then get sent CVs to format. Like I still remember that.
My God.
We used to have this older Australian lady on our reception desk. She was great. Her customer service was amazing. Like, she was such good fun and energy. Every morning you'd walk in, she'd be like, "Morning." She was great. I loved her. And then she started getting given CVs to format, and she was like, she was so funny. She just didn't like doing it at all, and it was the only time you'd ever see her not super happy. So we had receptionists. We had people that answered the main line. Then we went into sort of, now we need office administrators because we need the work environment to be a bit nicer and so on and so forth. Then it kind of moved into, all right, can you do some HR-y stuff? Then it was, can you do a bit of, and so it's evolved so much. It
has.
I would hands down say, and I'd beg anyone to argue with me, I think the agencies that won last year or didn't feel the downturn as well last year were the ones that were ran operationally rigorously. And actually that came from the fact that their operations function, not just the leader, the whole function, was an integral part of setting strategy, driving ROI, helping the business make money. So it's interesting that I said that. So do you think that, so you thought that they had that mindset when you were interviewing already? Why was that, do you know? Do you know what it was that made Andy and the team think, let's do this?
I think that, a lot of people probably invest in ops too late. Like they wait until something breaks and then they're like, okay, we need an ops team to come and fix it. And then that automatically just sets the tone of like, ops are here firefighting day and day, and that's their only job, they're our safety net. But this was almost just like, it was proactive rather than reactive, going actually, if we want to go and build X, Y, and Z by here, we're going to need a robust like operational infrastructure, not team, infrastructure to get us there. And when we sort of like scaled the ops team, or when we talked about it, it was never scaling by heads. We can obviously hire the people, that's not an issue, but it was scaling by what are we giving back to the business? Ultimately, like yes, the guys on the sales floor are our customers as an operational division, right?
I'm so glad you said that. I frame it like that all the time.
It is.
Internal
it's like
customers.
They're giving like, we hope, 5-star service to our clients and candidates. We should be doing the same for our people as well. And gone a bit off track here. But Andy is like a massive like blue sky thinker, right? He is so ambitious, so aspirational, massively inspiring. And personally, to work not for someone but with someone who can say the world's your oyster in so many words, go in there, you know what we're trying to achieve, make it ours, like customize it, build something that is going to be fit for purpose. And you've almost got carte blanche. An operations person or team don't always get that. They're almost just told like, this is what you need to do, this is your job, these are your parameters, don't go outside of it.
Here are some processes to look after, to man or handle, that's for you to do. And that's interesting.
It is, and he was very much like, I look at like our department now and I'm like, we are a growth engine. That's what we've built. We're not a support function. Yes, don't get me wrong, like we'll absolutely help you where help is needed, but what we're here to do more so than not is like marketing, to bring in leads. We've got talent to obviously scale. You've got the tech side, which is automating, which is looking at different AI tools to not do the job for you, but make you more productive, give you more time back to actually go out there and like build those relationships. That's what we're trying to build. We're not here to be your administrators. We're here to give you like the time to go out there, go speak to people, do more.
That's so good. I think you framed that perfectly.
Yeah.
I think that's great. that is exactly how it should be. That's exactly how it should be. Do you know, there's a really subtle thing that you said there that I think people should pay attention to if they're whoever's listening or watching, is the ops infrastructure versus ops people.
Yeah.
And my inbox gets, the number one inquiry I get is what CRM, right? That's just, I get that all the time.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit fed up of it, actually. I don't like being the CRM guy. I want to be the ops guy. But the next one that comes not far behind the rest of the pack is we need an ops person.
Yeah.
And we need an ops person. We need to hire an ops person. We need to grow our ops team. And it's always people and headcount that they want to talk about. Which is why I always do the audit piece, because actually sometimes sometimes infrastructure and the foundations of an ops team or an ops function isn't there to then allow for it to grow, and it's not actually delivering ROI. Because there's an ROI element to ops, right?
There is, yeah.
I think there's an ops function I'm working with at the moment. It's not that big of an agency, and there's a lot of cost in the ops function, not just from the people and the salaries, but also all the systems and the tools that they all want to use. And you're like, right, okay, if you peel it back, you're like, where's the ROI for this? Where's the ROI for that? What was the intended ROI? What was the business case and stuff? So very subtle difference, subtle thing I picked up on there, which is ops infrastructure investment versus let's just go hire more people to do more support stuff for recruiters.
Exactly. That's where the line just gets blurred though. Like you should almost understand what is it that you're trying to build first, and then is it tools? Is it people? What kind of skill set do we need to actually make it happen? Yeah. Like it's all the way around.
Yeah. Well, that's how you should buy tech, right?
Yeah.
What problem are you solving first, or what are your strategic goals?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Let's talk about projects and change initiatives that you guys have had. I mean, I know of obviously the QXI rebrand project. That'd be great to talk about, where that came from, what you did on it, challenges, lessons learned, and any other projects. I don't know, I don't think you've had any major tech changes. I think you guys are Bullhorn, right?
We are Bullhorn, yeah.
Don't know, I think you've been Bullhorn for some time.
We have. It was pre my starting, actually. Yeah.
I think that's how we first spoke.
I think it is.
Someone introduced me to you to talk about Bullhorn.
Yes.
Kate?
It was Kate. It was Kate, and then we jumped on a call, had a good old chit chat, and then we actually ended up bumping into each other at a Christmas party.
Yes. Well, it was the Battersea Evolution one.
It was, yeah.
Which, funny enough, Andy, S3 used to book that whole thing out.
Oh, did they?
I think so. I think the guy who runs it is an ex-S3 guy. I'm sure Gary and Calfish were talking about that. Ask Andy when you see it next.
I will.
But yeah, I knew you weren't the only person in recruitment I bumped into that day.
Yeah, I feel like there was a lot of people there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, God, I forgot about that. So yeah, project changes. Let's talk about those. Yeah. What are the best ones? What are the ones that you'd like to talk about?
I actually like that you mentioned QXI, building that brand, because that was all for our people, and that is one of the many bits I love about what we do as a team. So Montash that was where we were sort of born, right? That was always what we were known under. And there was this whole, we started Remobi, and then we actually had Trillion, and then we were sort of dancing around this like Montash group, and we're like,
too close to the original band.
This is not working.
Yeah.
And we sat in a room. It feels like such a long time ago, but we just did a whole load of whiteboarding, but it was a huge mix of people. You had ops, you had a bit of finance, you had a bit of sales, you had...
I love it, everyone's involved.
Yeah, and I think that's what got us to where we sort of landed. And it was like, well, why do we need a group, right? We need an identity. Like, we want an identity that everyone who comes into the business, no matter what brand they ended up sitting in, they're part of a collective. So that's what we decided was like why we needed a separate name and not like Montash Group, because that kind of dilutes what Montash is.
Yeah, because if you work for Remobi, then you're like,
it doesn't really make sense. And then we built, the name went round and round in circles. I think at one point we actually had like a poll.
That's so good.
It was so funny. But it also got everyone on the floor involved,
Oh, really?
which was really quite funny.
Oh, that's so good.
But so I might botch this one up. QXI is Quantum X International. We have a lot of association to space. You got
To the moon,
the lunar rooms,
Yeah,
all of that.
What are we in now?
We're in Lunar. I should know
Lunar
this.
Module 2,
Lunar
yeah.
Module 2. You've got
Yeah.
Lunar Module 1 over there.
Yeah, okay.
There was lots of rocket logos everywhere.
I like a rocket emoji.
Really?
I like a rocket emoji. I don't mind. I know it got killed by all the startups and
Yeah.
high growth stuff, but I'm still. My son loves them as well. So everywhere at home, I have rockets everywhere.
Stop.
So
That was the first thing that came off that wall. when I was allowed to get my hands on it, I was like, no, bye.
yeah,
That's got to go. We digress though. So QXI, the building of it was actually, it wasn't one person, and it was a whole group of us from all different areas of the business that actually got together, and even like our values, for example, like Opportunity Growth United, that wasn't just one person who came up with it and goes, this is what we stand for. It wasn't just Andy as the CEO.
Yeah.
It was like, well, actually, when you think of our group, put the name aside, put everything aside, you think about our people and the culture we want to like build or cultivate or what we're trying to achieve, what words come to mind?
yeah,
Lots got thrown around, a lot of like alternative ways to say opportunity.
yeah.
But that's what we landed on.
And is that the group values? And
It
do
is.
they trickle into all the brands maintain the same values throughout?
Yeah,
nice.
they do. Yeah.
Do people get them? Like, because Dominic Mitchell, who was on the other week, they went for a big rebrand as well,
Yeah.
and that was so people focused. Do you know what? Interesting enough, I've never been through that with a business ever.
Yeah.
Like, not even when I was in house or since working as a consultant. So I didn't. I find it really fascinating and interesting.
Yeah.
And he was like, he said they did it from a people perspective, and he said it was immense, and it had so many other secondary and tertiary benefits thereafter. But do you think everyone gets it, knows it, lives by it, and why do you think that's been successful?
They do, because actually, if you look at it in hindsight, yes, we created a new brand with a new name and all that kind of stuff, but actually it was born from something.
Mm.
So it wasn't new values per se. We were already, like, that was already the environment. Like, we had an environment where there was a lot of opportunities. You see some people, like Leon, for example, he joined us, he was part of Montash, running the SAP contract desk. He built the Trillion brand, and now he heads it up. So opportunities was already within our business. And then growth, like, we don't have like rigid, you can only go this way, you can only go that way in your career. Like, sales is quite difficult. Sometimes it can just be quite black and white, but there are so many ways you can slice it if you're more creative.
Yeah.
And United, everyone works with everyone. You don't just sit behind your desk and like, because we sit upstairs, we don't just team someone who's downstairs. We come down and be like, let's go sit and talk about it.
Yeah, love it. Yeah.
We work together, and we always already had that. It was just finding the words or word that could be the umbrella to what we're already doing.
Yeah, okay, nice. I love that. Because actually, when you see people talking about it, or when you go into some agencies and you have a conversation about it, they'll just have these words on there, and they'll be like, the senior leadership team came up with that and put it on the board. So the fact that you've done it from what's happening in the business naturally makes sense. So the rebrand, I mean, let's talk about some of the technical things that have to happen with rebrands, like logos, Google address, signatures. Good God, I only know about these things because Dom told me how long it was to do, and he said that months after, they found old logos everywhere and
no, there
like
was
that. Really.
There was. We called it the mass purge.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I said in my head. I don't know if I ever said it out loud. To this day, I still find some wild and wonderful logos from, I'm going to say back in the day, 20, 21 years ago. And I'm like,
20, 21 years ago, logos from then, wow.
Like, why is that still in that folder? Like, move into the archive drive, please. It was, there's so much like history and like nostalgia in like the Montash brand, right? And as soon as you put something new out there, it's like, it's almost like a fear of letting go. And it was really difficult to say, look, we're not trying to like delete the past or like remove anything. It was just simply tidying it up.
It's practical.
I just want to organise. That's all I want to do.
Yeah.
That was really hard, and it took such a long time. And it's, some people make an assumption that it's really easy to just go lift and shift, but it really does depend on like how you were set up. So if we use really boring here, but a SharePoint, like our 365.
Yeah.
As soon as you say, right, okay, I'm actually going to build a group that sits on top of our brands, but the entire business was originally built from one.
Yeah.
You're not just lifting the lid on one thing and shifting it over. It was just like Pandora's box. It's like, where's this come from? And where's this come from? You think it's done, something else pops up.
Oh, yeah.
Email changes also. I don't even want to go there.
Well, my next question was going to be, how did clients receive that? Because you've obviously got like 20 years of, I'm assuming trading history, trading names and legal stuff isn't really that big of a deal, but more the case of like the brand association and stuff. How did it land with clients? Like, did you take any particular extra steps to make sure that was handled with gentle gloves?
Yeah, so I think one thing we were really mindful of is, whilst we hire all of our employees into the QXI brand, they still sit, apart from shared services, which is like your operations teams, your finance and your legal, and your board of directors, they all sit within a brand. So what we were cautious not to do is change everything for everyone. And if you were working for Montash, you kept your Montash domain, you kept your Trillion domain, you kept your Remobi domain. So like what your clients and your candidates knew, your emails weren't going to end up in like junk, for example. It was only those who were sitting across all brands, servicing all brands, that changed their emails.
Yeah, so like yours goes to QXI.
Yeah.
But the chap you mentioned who now heads up Trillion, his stayed Trillion.
Exactly. Yeah. And the way that we've positioned it externally is, if you look at our LinkedIn, our QXI brand is all about our people. It is not really client or candidate facing in that sense. It's all about our internal culture and hiring for our head office, whereas our brands have kept their really distinct identity, and that hasn't changed throughout the whole process.
Yeah, nice.
How we link together is through, I guess, the joint values and what we do, but we didn't try and like change things that don't need to be changed.
Yeah. Okay. And then the cynical people out there would say, yeah, cool logo, bro, or cool story and stuff like that. It sounds like the initial intended ROI or intended benefit was about the people. It was the people play.
Yeah.
But how is that translated through to productivity, retention, hiring? What are you seeing? And when was the rebrand, actually? We should talk about that. It wasn't that long ago, I don't think.
No, that's a really good question.
Last year? It's got to be last year, isn't it?
I think it was the year before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was...
Oh yeah, we're 2026
October
now.
24, I believe. Yeah, that we actually went live with it. I understand why people are cynical, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think if you're not going through that process with a company, and a lot of companies do it, and everyone's got a different reason for it, sometimes it can be quite difficult to understand. Retention-wise, I don't think it's changed much, like in that sense, like, but it's created, from a culture perspective, a feeling of belonging.
Okay.
Because there's no like, oh, I'm Montash, you're Remobi, I'm Trillion.
Yeah.
There's none of that. It's like, well, actually, no, we all work for the same company.
Yeah, I love that.
We all work for QXI. Our EVP is not separate per brand. Our EVP is a QXI EVP, and no matter what brand you sit in, you all get the same benefits. You all get the same experience when you're here.
Yeah.
And it genuinely was built for our people. Like, we are a people first business, whether it's internal or external. And we did lack that when we had 3 brands but no almost like no umbrella, like nothing to hold us together, no like bow to tie us together, and that's what QXI is. It's that bow.
Yeah, nice. When you guys hire, do you hire rookies? Do you hire trainees?
Yes, we do. Yeah.
When you hire trainees, do you go brand campaigns? So hiring grads, so do you do brand hiring campaigns, or do you say, right, we will interview a load of grads and rookies as QXI now? Whilst everyone's got the same values, we know that consultancy, SOW sales requires potentially a different personality to perm sales, and then remote workers might require a different flavour. So how do you manage that when you're doing internal rec as a group structure with 3 quite distinct brands?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So very different for an associate, so like a fresh graduate or someone starting out on the recruitment journey, to someone who is experienced. Someone who is experienced, whilst we externally talk about it at individual brand level, it's advertised as a QXI role. You'll be working for X brand within the QXI group.
Right.
They would interview with specific brands if they're experienced. Although there is actually quite a lot of synergy still between the brands and the skill sets.
Okay.
So we do encourage more than one hiring manager or leader to interview those individuals, because it's always, I think, better to cross-check firstly.
Yeah.
And
2 opinions
also,
are better than one.
imagine going to a candidate and saying, well, actually, we loved you for 2 brands. You choose what you want.
Yeah.
And that has actually happened before.
Yeah. Powerful as well.
Graduate side, we hire at QXI level. So we say we're looking for associate consultants, for example. An associate consultant's journey is quite similar across our brands anyway. When they interview multiple hiring managers again, and that's more of like a quality skill set, not just soft skills, but capability, aptitude sort of review. But our L&D lead also gets involved as well, because all of our associates, they come on and we run a academy for the first 3 weeks. And within that academy, we teach them workflows, we teach them our way of working, how we're set up, basically orient them to like the business.
Yeah.
And we naturally find that people, as we get to know them, they lean towards certain areas, or we'll see actually like...
Oh, I see. Sorry. So during the 3-week academy process, they're not aligned to a brand.
Not necessarily.
They're just coming in. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's like natural selection.
It
almost.
is. Yeah. Sometimes they do, right? They might come in, they might have an affinity to a certain brand, or if we're running an academy and we're like, we actually only really need associate consultants in our Montash brand at the moment, then yes, obviously that's quite clear. But if we're hiring, we're like, okay, we need associate consultants across the board. Say Montash and Trillion, we have Montash and Trillion hiring managers involved. We have a group of individuals in there. We kind of have an inkling as to where they sit, but the confirmation of where they sit within the brand or the brands happens sort of within the first week or 2 quite naturally.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And we used to do grad hiring at a group level for Boss Professional Services.
Yeah.
And I was the ops manager there. I was a divisional manager for the ERP desk. It was SAP. Interesting enough, we used to compete with Montash.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So the same faces in the SAP space, right? Yeah. It's like Montash, Investigo, etc.
Yeah.
And I used to go into most of the first interviews, like for the grads and stuff. So Kate, who introduced us, she used to, that business that she was at, SW6, there was a period of time where we had like 4 or 5 people from SW6 starting every month, every other month. We had such a good flow of grads coming in. But I used to do the first interview, because we had quite a lot of divisional managers who were great recruiters, but some of them really, it was their first time managing and stuff. And I just think it was important that an external person kind of steered them towards a manager. Yeah. Because I just think sometimes first time managers need certain personality, need a little bit closer personality alignment than not. And I know some people are a bit more tolerant than others, some are a bit more patient, some of them are a bit more direct. And it's like, so I used to do a bit of filtering and a bit of steering towards which team to go to because of the managers more so than anything. Do you think that comes into play when you're allocating the grads? Do you think about the managers?
It does, because once you have a culture within the business, you've got microcultures within the teams, and all teams have well, actually no, they're not very all of them don't do similar jobs, but what they need in terms of like skill set, or perhaps even to just like push each other, bounce off each other, pick them up when they have recruitment is like up, down, they'll need to be complementary of each other. When they've done that interview, they will also know in the back of their mind which candidate is going to gel well with the team that they have, or which candidate is actually going to pull their team forward.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah, I love that.
By no means am I saying it's a completely blank canvas going into that academy. It is very much like, got an idea, we've spoken to the consultant about it as well, because what we don't want is to force them into a team that doesn't work for them either. It's a two-way street. But Courtney, who looks after our L&D, is also part of that process. Because she is with them 5 days a week for the first 3 weeks, and those are really telling first 3 weeks as well.
Yeah, I would love to do my first 3 weeks in recruitment all over again.
Would you?
Yeah, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I don't know why, I'm a sucker for that sort of stuff. I loved it. I came into recruitment via an assessment centre. And it was
I remember those.
It was like a bootleg version of The Apprentice.
Yeah.
Every hour someone got sent home. It was like, we were in a boardroom like the one over there.
Yeah.
It was like 15 of us sat there, and there were just divisional managers stood around the outside like you're in a gladiator ring, and they're just like coming in and out, observing. You're doing role plays, you're doing CV match exercises.
That's brutal.
I went for the free sandwich. I was made redundant from a gym.
Yeah.
I sold gym memberships, got made redundant. You know when all the gyms turned into code gyms?
Yeah.
So I was selling gym memberships, and then they converted it to a code gym, made us redundant.
Yeah.
My friends were all still at uni, Kingston, and I was still living in the Kingston uni house, but working. And then I got a phone call saying, do you want to work in recruitment? The guy started telling me about his Porsche. It was the weirdest thing ever on the call. And I was like, oh, who's this knobhead?
Yeah.
And I was about to put the phone down, and he said, well, we've got an assessment day. We'll lay on breakfast and lunch. And I was like, breakfast and lunch?
Why not? Yeah.
That is the only reason why I went, and I got the job.
Stop.
Honestly. But it was like, I would love to do that first 3 weeks again, because I think they were the best first 3 weeks, like learning. There's so much to learn. It's such a steep learning curve.
Yeah.
I was shattered. I remember the first, I used to go out every weekend, right? I used to go every weekend. First weekend, I did not go out. I was like, I just want to be in my bed. I think I went to bed at like 8 o'clock on the first Friday night in recruitment. Yeah, I was shattered. We were in the pub at 4. Yeah. And so it got to like 7, and I was like, I'm going to go because I don't want to make a tit of myself in front of my new colleagues. And then I remember getting home and just going, just fell asleep on the sofa, I think.
It is exhausting though. Like you can, you'll be having to be a sponge, but you're also having to put like your best foot forward as well. Yeah. And it's just like you're being pulled like this, and then you have to be sociable. Yeah, it's like, oh my God.
Because they're judging you, because people do judge you on that.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. What other big projects have you had in your time at QXI?
Oh, the big projects. If I'm on it, all blurs into one.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about the scale journey, because I mean that 3-year journey anyway has been interesting. We've had market downturn, your functions, your division has grown.
Yeah.
We can move on to that and talk about that.
Yeah.
That 3-year, how it scaled, your lessons learned, because I'm sure people listening will want to know how you've done it. QXI have a great brand out there, right? Like I think you are well recognised in your fields, and you're doing well at the moment by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
So maybe we can talk about that.
Yeah.
How the business has scaled. Should we start with the team?
Let's do it.
You've grown that function. You've hired people into it.
Yeah.
How did you do it? How did you design it? How did you know who you wanted? Let's talk about that for a bit.
It wasn't always the right decision.
No.
We could start with that. So I went round and round in circles for my first couple of months. Mm-hmm. I was really lucky to have someone who already knew the business quite well.
She was doing everything, wasn't she?
Yeah, and she sort of showed me around the pain points first, and then we went into what works really well. When I first joined, I sat down with every single sales leader and non-sales leader, and I just go, talk to me. Mm-hmm. Talk to me about your day-to-day experience. Talk to me about your team's experience. What's working really, really well.
Specifically with ops, related stuff, tech, or just in general?
Everything.
Literally just, yeah, okay, nice.
Because then you pick up on areas in which, like, ops isn't just about things in your own space, right? It's about picking up on places where the business can become more efficient, even if you're not going to be the one who's executing on it.
Yeah.
To bring that forward and say, well, actually, there's a trend. X and Y manager have said this. We should really look at how this would work within our business as well. So I sat down with all of them, and it was, oh my gosh, it was like a massive therapy session.
It always is.
Yeah. I was so.
It's a good place to be though.
It was.
If people get, because then at least you know you're hearing the real stuff that you need as an ops leader.
Yeah, exactly. And sort of took it away. I gave myself 3-4 weeks, no pressure, get all my ducks in a row, put all those notes together, go out and understand the market a bit more, understand a bit more about QXI's candidates, customers, what is it we're trying to achieve, how we already think we're going to get there versus the information you have and what you think can be shifted or moved or developed or done further.
Yeah.
And then off the back of that, it's like, okay, how is this division going to aid or impact it? And what skill set do I have in the division or do I need in the division to get us there?
Nice.
It was, funnily enough, actually, it was very much myself and the lady doing business operations at the time for first 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
And it worked.
So you didn't rush? Yeah,
No.
you didn't rush at all?
No.
So was there anything that needed rushing on? Or was it just opportunity to be better?
Opportunity to be better.
Yeah.
But the day-to-day running of the office, which is really interesting because we said at the beginning of this conversation that ops, when it first started, was like your receptionist.
Yeah.
We didn't need a receptionist per se, but we needed someone who was going to manage the office. And I don't just mean coming in and pulling the blinds up and turning the TV on and making sure the music's playing, but somebody who's going to look at our vendors, look at our suppliers and say, are they doing what we expect and want them to do? Is this just bog standard or is it actually elevating us as a business? We did not have the capacity to do that.
Yeah.
We needed to look at how are we retaining our staff? Like, how are we keeping them engaged and making them feel as though they want to come into the office every day? The environment that people work in is so important.
Yeah. We want them to, 100%. I agree.
That was just like that's low-hanging fruit to me.
Mm.
That was one of the first hires we made.
Yeah.
Was an office manager who is now actually our people and operations manager as well.
Nice.
And one of the best hires I've personally feel as though we've made within like the business. Probably can't add that in there, but that's fine, that's personal. We have. And then tech. A lot of the sort of like quick wins and challenges that we're being faced with because there was too much of it.
Right, okay.
We had...
How did you get to the bottom of that? How did you identify there's too much tech?
We sat upstairs in that boardroom with, again, all of the sales leaders, and I said, on your post-it notes, write down every single system platform subscription that you use.
Yeah.
And it got to a point and they were like, yeah, we're done. And I looked at it and I was like, but what about this one that I know is coming out of our bank account, but are we not using it then? And I was like, we have got way too much. This does the same as this.
Yeah.
And it was overload. And if I'm feeling overloaded as someone who's not even using the systems, what is it like to them? So the next natural step to me was, okay, how do we not strip this back, but build like a tech ecosystem that is actually giving them the information that they need and is scalable in the way that we want to grow. It integrates with like our CRM system. They all speak to each other and they're not operating in silos. And then a natural shift was actually the lady who was doing that business operations role. She was unbelievably technically savvy. Yeah. So technically savvy that she moved into a sales operations role.
Right.
And quite organically. And we sort of slowly, naturally saw that the team was forming into, yes, we were a department, but we had individual functions. It wasn't, like we said earlier, one person or a group of people that did a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Like, there was really clear, like, roles, and if we have clarity within our team as to who's doing what, the business also has clarity in, like, okay, we need to look at Bullhorn because X, Y, and Z isn't working, or actually we could optimise it for X, Y, and Z. I know I can go and speak to this person, and we can consult and work together rather than I give them a problem, they've got to solve it on their own, because we don't use everything day to day. And one of the things that we learned very quickly is what we think might be a solution may not be a solution in practice. So whatever we're doing...
Yeah, academically it makes sense.
Yeah.
But in practice, is it going to work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have to speak and keep close to our sales team. And that's one of the things that we learnt really quickly is there was a lot of friction at the beginning with building that trust within the operations team. Right, we're a new division as it is. We're now a team of 3. We've got one individual who's really focusing on the sales and tech side, and one person who's really focusing on, like, the culture, the environment, the people, and the day-to-day running of the business. And then you've got myself, who is wiggling between the two. But also the business is going through change and trying to navigate being new as well. So building trust in the team was so hard.
What was the best thing you did to build trust?
Talk openly.
Yeah.
Talk openly and not be afraid to say no.
Okay, that's an interesting one. Because actually, I see full ends of that spectrum. I see ops teams that say no too much. And then I see ops teams that say yes too much.
Yeah.
How do you find the balance?
It was hard. We started out being a yes team.
Yeah. Okay.
And when we realised that was impossible, when we were exhausted. And I was like, we're burning our candles, multiple candles actually. We can't do everything. And also we don't want to do everything and do it half-hearted. We want to do a few things and do it well. Not perfect, because there's no such thing as perfection, but we want to do it well. And we want to make sure it's actually adding value to the business. And we need to start saying, it's not no, never. Yeah. But no right now in how much of a priority is it to you that we have to get it done in this time frame. Yeah.
In comparison to this other thing that we're already doing for you.
Exactly. So it was building a team that can have a more of a consultative approach. So it wasn't like a team that just sees a problem, gets it done, or gets given a problem, gets it done. It's not a reactive team that we wanted to build. And I say we because, yes, I might head up the division, but everyone has a role in actually making it happen. Yeah. So all the decisions we made as a team in terms of, like, what we wanted to be known for and what we wanted to achieve, we sat down and we actually worked that out, 3 of us together. That really defined, like, how we were perceived by the business and how we actually worked with the business. Yeah, nice. So we started there, and then inherently I inherited Courtney, through who looks after our L&D, is our L&D lead, and talent acquisition as a function, and hired in Rachel, who does our talent acquisition as well. And it's sort of been like an organic growth, and then marketing also was inherited to me as well as we sort of grew and grew, and it was quite a flat linear structure. It was a lot for our MD to spread himself. He really needed to be focused on, like, I guess the sales
strategy,
side.
Sales,
strategy,
growth,
yeah. And it just naturally kind of all clicked into place after a bit of time. Yeah, nice. Yeah.
On the original three of you, because that's more the pure opsy folks.
Yeah.
As that clear delineation of what people kind of were strong at or would do or would look after, did your sales floor go directly to them for the problems? Like, did they root cause it and then go, or did you have a central way to raise tickets or anything like that? Like, I find this one super interesting, how people go about this.
This is actually we had this conversation yesterday. Right. At the beginning, they would all go to the girl that was originally here.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because that's what they knew. Yeah. And then I joined, they got comfortable. Then they would direct it to the both of us. So there wasn't a system in place where it would be a ticketing system or like a central inbox or anything like that. When it was the three of us, it was really clear cut as to, after some time, like 6 months or so, as to who did what. So people would know who to go to. And we learned that even though somebody could come to me to ask that question, I had to say, go and speak to X, go and speak to Y.
Reinforcing the route,
Yeah, and they get used to it. And also it kind of empowers the people in your team to really own their function as well. Like, yes, I could answer the question. Yes, they could answer the question that might need to be directed to me, but keep it simple. Right? As we got bigger as a business and we noticed there were more queries, there were more questions, there were more things that we needed to service, we put all of our tech-related queries and all of our sort of like people and benefits-related queries directed into a shared inbox.
Right.
And that is now looked after by 2 individuals who can interchange. They both have specialisms and expertise, but they can also cover it for each other and work for each other.
Nice.
And if they're overloaded, I can jump in if need.
Yeah, help me out in the mailbox. Yeah, nice, love that. I've seen so many fancy ticketing solutions set up in Teams and stuff like that, and I've seen it gets set up for the wrong reasons, I find. Like, it's because someone got sick to death of being the one that gets asked everything, and they're like, right, it's all going into a ticket, but actually you don't solve the problem of right people doing the right things being routed to the right teams, etc. And no one likes logging fucking tickets. Like, who likes logging tickets? I hate logging tickets. It kills me. One of I might bleep it out, but do you have an IT supplier?
We do, yeah.
Who is it?
Cyrec.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Another client of mine that I'm working for at the moment, they've got Keybridge, right?
Okay.
I'm definitely going to bleep out that name. I have an email address, obviously a client email address.
Yeah.
And I have Teams on my laptop. I've got like 6 clients that I'm on long-term projects with. I've got 6 email accounts. I just want to use one Teams. So I just get them to add my embedded ops email to their estate. I had to raise like 5-6 tickets to get this sorted out, right? Oh. But what I realized was that through this experience, I was like, right, for every ticket I raised, there were 6 automated messages that came off the back of it. So the one was like to recognize it. Then if someone replied, it would double a message. Hey, you've got a reply, plus the reply itself.
Yeah.
And then there was like CSAT scoring that they wanted on the ticket that used to come afterwards. And I was like, this is such a shit experience for some tickets. Anyway, I feel like I'm bashing them. But I hate that from an experience standpoint. I just think that is so awful. Like,
that's the thing. I mean, if you feel that, then you're not going to build something like that for the business to come and speak to you. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it's closing yourself off as well. Like, it's meant to be like an open relationship, sort of like you can go up to each other and talk to each other. And by putting those things in place, you're just creating barriers. That's not what we're here for.
100%. I think you're not Barclays and you're not in Canary Wharf Tower. Like, just go down the stairs.
Exactly.
Or go over.
Yeah.
Keep it human, and that helps the culture piece as well.
It does.
And that helps the whole. As soon as you start having ticketing solutions, you are support then, aren't you, essentially? So
exactly.
You might be screaming at the top of your lungs that you're a growth engine, you're a partner, you're there to help, you're an enabler.
Yeah.
But as soon as there's a ticket involved, you're support.
Exactly. Yeah, you're putting yourself into a box that you don't want to be in.
Yeah. I wanted to talk a little bit about AI automation and what that world looks like, because it's on everyone's lips and I'm interested in hearing people's perspectives. You guys are a Bullhorn house.
We are indeed,
Automation and analytics.
We are.
Amplify?
No.
Okay. Have had the discussions or speaking about it?
We have, yeah. So we spoke to Danny, who's our account manager.
He's from Northwest as well.
Is he?
Yeah.
Next time we have our monthly meeting.
Danny Miranda.
Yeah,
he's from Northwest as well. Yeah.
We'll have to have a chit chat about that. I bet roads have crossed at some point as well. This world is too small. We spoke to him about it. We did. I did a demo with a bad back end of last year, maybe Q3, Q4. It wasn't, transparently speaking, where I sort of wanted it to be for our business. We have a CRM system that is quite heavily customised.
Yeah.
Do I feel like it's causing a few pains now? 100%
Right.
on my
The
radar.
legacy customizations.
Yeah.
Are you 3 brands, 3 tenants, 3 different instances of Bullhorn, or everyone's on one?
Everyone's on one.
And how do you split out the brands by category? So yeah.
Yeah, we've got a custom field
Okay.
that associates like placements or records with brand.
Yeah.
It works.
Yep.
All of our consultants have, when you set up a user, have got a brand associated to them as well. So
it does the field automatically. Yeah.
Nice. Exactly. It wasn't where we wanted it to be, so I decided right now, no. Funnily enough, the conversation we had last week or the week before was that it has moved on a lot.
Yeah. So you're holding fire.
Holding fire, and the reason being is when I look at our CRM system, right, I feel like we need to get our house in order before we start layering more products into it or adding more to it, because particularly with AI, right, it learns and it generates information and output based on what it's fed. And if the information in our CRM system is perhaps like a little bit clunky, or things aren't like working together or speaking to each other as it should be, the output isn't going to be of a standard that we want our consultants to see.
Yeah.
We need to lend more time to it. What we have been doing though is building things like custom GPTs.
Yeah, nice.
So
owned by brand by brand, QXI, consultant desk level, your ops team.
It is built by my ops team.
Yep. Yeah, nice. That's a win.
But the way that it's being built, it really differs across like perm and contract, and they're really separated in terms of like BD custom GPTs. We've got ones that create different types of like searches and things like that. So it's what we say, like leveling up our consultants, right, to make sure that everyone is at like a minimum standard, and that has saved, I think we did like a survey or an assessment, 5 to 6 hours per consultant per week.
Wow.
Right?
So it's a day back.
Literally.
So that is, you have to sit there and think about that. How many people work, how many consultants do you have?
We've got 59.
59. So let's call it 50 days of effort back in a week.
Yeah.
That's huge.
I know.
That's so massive. Yeah. Go on, carry on. That's so good. I love hearing things like this.
So and one thing that we didn't do was like, we don't want to replace the consultants, right, or make them feel as though they're being done out of a job.
Yeah,
because I think when AI first came out, it was really interesting, it was really exciting. It still is, right? The pace at which it is changing is really quite hard to keep up with. But then there was a bit of a fear period where people were like, well, am I going to have a job anymore?
Yeah.
And it was so important to us that when we invested in it, whatever way in which we invested in it, we were really careful in the way that it was positioned. And we had a focus group that was very much like senior led, but we also had a user group as well.
Okay.
Who would say
different levels of people in there as well. So
different
like
levels of
associate,
people.
fruity, wicked.
Yeah, ones who are sort of like super users but already using ChatGPT before people were using ChatGPT. Those who like don't mind trying new things and it not working or like whatever. And everything that we built was based on information and feedback from them. So we've not just gone out and understood what's happening in the market and then gone, okay, well, this has worked for this company, let's do it here. Like, we've said, okay, let's understand your day-to-day process a bit better. What's taking you a lot of time, or what are you finding is really varying across your teams or your sales floor in terms of like standards of output or information or searches.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I thought that was on Do Not Disturb.
That's okay.
It is on Do Not Disturb. How's that come through?
That's really strange.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine, don't worry.
Let's just change that to available and then back to Do Not Disturb. See what I mean? All clients have my embedded ops teams.
Yeah, that is. It would stress me out a little. I think it's great because it's all in one place. It also stressed me out.
Yeah.
You can't hide.
Yeah,
You actually can't hide.
They've got me on WhatsApp as well. So I can't
No.
get
Oh my god, no, that's too much. So whatever we're doing from like, if we just look at the AI automation space, it's all sort of led from the sales floor first. It's understanding where could we be adding value? Where could we be raising the standards? Where could we be giving them time back to go and speak to candidates and clients? And those custom GPTs have done exactly that. They've made sure that we have a baseline standard across the business.
Yeah.
It is a tool to assist. It's not a tool to do. It's not doing the job for the recruiter.
Yeah.
It's not creating something that they just copy and paste and send on. That's not what we want. It needs human interaction. It is sort of like a baseline to work with. And then outside of the custom GPTs, we've been training people. We've been really investing in saying, like, okay, well, how comfortable are you using it, like AI? Like, what is it that really works for you? What is it that doesn't work? If I was to ask you to create a Boolean search string, how would you do it? Show me.
Yeah.
And then upskill them. Because and I think a lot of actually companies, not just in recruitment, are going to find that the profile of people that they hire is going to shift because of the way that technology is moving, right? And what we want to do is make sure that the people that we already have and the workforce that we already have are shifting with that change as well.
Yeah.
And they're not going to be sort of at a loss with their skills or have a massive skills gap. So yes, there's an element of like investing in tech and improving our systems, but there's also another prong to it, which is actually upskilling our people to make sure that they're comfortable first and they know how to use it first. They know the do's and the don'ts and what's appropriate and what's inappropriate. Before we start layering things upon things on them.
There are horrific examples of AI being used incorrectly.
Yeah.
Even in America, the head of US Cyber uploaded a confidential document to ChatGPT.
Oh my gosh,
and he's been investigated. I mean, I actually think there's probably loads of breaches that have already happened that we'll never know about, and your details are already out there. I stopped thinking about it because I think it would stress me out.
Yeah,
but I love that. I love that. Like thinking about the internal kind of tech know-how and ability. I would say my dad the other day said ChatGPT to me.
Stop.
And I was like, fucking hell. I was like, listen, if my old man, who's like an immigrant to this country, who like barely speaks English, is sitting there saying the words ChatGPT, that just shows that there is a level of AI understanding or AI knowledge baselining its way through society.
Yes.
And I think that just will come more and more and more, which is a good thing, I think, because everyone needs to get to that level of understanding because it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm doing an exercise with an agency at the moment, 30 consultants, and I'm working in conjunction with Ops and L&D, and we're doing a full benchmark of everyone's, not just tech know-how, but also their know-how around the internal systems.
Nice, okay.
And we're doing do you remember those quizzes you could do where like they're online and you press a colour?
Yeah.
Like a Kahoot quiz.
Kahoots.
Yeah. So we're doing those at the moment, and we're doing them every week to make it fun, but we're trying to work out who knows the processes and knows where to find things.
That's brilliant.
And so we try to make it fun to capture the data and baseline everyone where they're at in terms of, do you know how you log a placement? Do you know where you find this? Do you know what compliance is required for this? It's going to be like a 3-month piece of work every week. We're doing something, but at the end of it, what we're going to use AI to do is basically benchmark everyone, create a matrix. We're going to use it to tell us where to focus our efforts on L&D and training, and then who should be included in it. And it's wild, some of the early stuff we're seeing.
Yes.
Like we've got associates that need to go into the same sessions as divisional managers because actually they both have a knowledge gap in one place. But one thing we were loving about it is we asked it to forget about people's levels of seniority, tenure, so on and so forth, just put them in depending on what they know. And I think it's going to be humbling for the divisional manager.
I'm sure it will be, yeah.
But also I think it's what a powerful tool to unify the floor and be like, right, we are in this together. We are all, if you were wondering if we're all upskilling, look at who you're next to in these rooms. So the idea is that by H2, everyone is like signed off on a basic level of, we know the processes, we know this, we know that, and then they want to do like a CRM chain and automation stuff.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, I really like it. I love it. It's one of my better ideas. Yeah. But I do think it's good to get people mixed in doing training together. Yeah. I think it just like levels it out.
We do exactly the same thing in the sense that a lot of our training sessions, yes, there'll be custom training sessions, one-to-ones, but it's not just L&D that hosts them.
Yeah.
So there could be a managing consultant, or it could be a senior consultant that's impeccable at doing something,
Yeah.
they'll host it to people of all levels.
Yeah,
Or
nice.
like, it doesn't have to be your associates. It could be like your managing consultants in there or your principals.
Yeah.
But it's a senior consultant that's going in there and going, actually, this is what
Yeah.
great looks like.
Yeah. I love that. And I encourage people to do that all the time.
Yeah.
It's crazy how the best trainers you've got are probably the people that are in your business already. So,
Yeah.
everyone always wants to go external for training, but sometimes you've got the capacity or skill internally.
Exactly.
My favorite thing on the planet was manager name chasing. I was just, I loved it. I found it such a fun game to do as a recruiter.
Yeah.
And we used to do it a lot on a Thursday afternoon. We used to
Yeah.
do lead chasing, and we used to do the name swap. But what we would do was we would put up everyone would put a football team name on the whiteboard. And me and my friends were so weird, man. I used to love it. We'd put a football team name on, right? And what you had to do was you got allocated a football team name. You had to say the names of football players as the swap to get a name. So you obviously wouldn't use David Beckham because everyone knows David Beckham.
Yeah.
But Daniel Sturridge played for Liverpool, right?
Right.
So you'd be on the phone, you'd be like, oh yeah, is the manager of that SAP team still Daniel Sturridge? And human nature corrects. So as soon as you say Daniel Sturridge, they go, no, it's X, Y, and Z.
That's
so we used to do
brilliant.
well, we made it because we all love football.
Yeah.
And we were like, this is my 20s, right? We're just having a lot of fun. So you used to just
That's
do
so
that.
funny.
It was just the best thing ever. And then you'd notch up how many people you managed to get through.
Yeah.
And sometimes you wouldn't know the team players' names and you'd butcher the names. People would cross names over by accident and you're all there in and amongst it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually so
That's
fun.
quite fun, isn't it?
That's old school
Yeah.
style.
Yeah.
That is so good.
I loved it. And I imagine obviously Andy came out of S3 and stuff. I'm sure they had loads of fun stuff that they did like that. But yeah, that was the environment I grew up in. But
That's
I think
brilliant.
it's moved on a bit now, recruitment. But
Yeah.
I think some of that old school stuff needs to make a bit of a comeback.
I think so. It gives the office a different feel.
Yeah.
It chills it out.
Yeah.
It really does. And it kind of makes it fun.
Yeah. I loved, that's what I mean. When I said, everywhere I worked was fun.
Yeah.
We had so much fun. I was always there, and we're making money. It was like,
That's the thing.
And I think as a
Yeah.
young person, if you told me to jump in front of a bus and it would make me money, I'd jump in front of the bus. I just wanted to make money.
Yeah.
Okay, we're almost here. We're almost there. Let's talk about one last thing I want to ask, actually, quite an interesting one, because you've got not like a purist recruitment background. Obviously, it was like the hire, train, deploy stuff.
Yeah.
And then kind of looking after the pastoral element of the grad piece, then going into an ops role. Do you think that matters when you're trying to lead an ops function? Or is it just you need to go learn the processes that the sales team follow, you need to get close to them and then build those relationships?
Yeah, I don't think that matters.
No.
No, I think you just learn.
Yeah.
As long as it's your way of working that's more important. As long as you're comfortable to go in, get under the hood, ask the right questions, get things wrong, I don't think it matters. I think ops is quite transferable across all industries.
Yeah.
Does not matter if you have experience in it or not.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. There's lots of different takes on it. I've worked with people who have recruitment experience and went into ops, but they're not very organised and it doesn't quite work. So yeah, I agree, transferable. And your advice for anyone working in recruitment now, what would it be and why?
Anyone working in recruitment ops or recruitment?
Ops, yeah, recruitment ops.
Mine would be pretty much what I said to you before. It's like, keep telling yourself and remind yourself you're not a support function. You are a growth engine, because the more you sit there and you believe you're just there to support, that is all you're ever going to do. You're not going to build something that is going to pull a business forward, which is so much more rewarding. And fight your corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fight your corner, because sometimes ops does get thought of last, and it does get left behind. But don't let that division be the last division to be thought of.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I do. I genuinely love it. Okay, great. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
That was
for
good.
having me.
I didn't even know how long that's been on. I forgot it was on at one point.